Well, for more on this particular story and for another perspective, we're joined in studio by Mr. Ivan Peñano, who's the chairperson of the Higher Education Parents Dialogue. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to you.
Welcome.
All right, so, throughout this hashtag Fees Must Fall campaign, we've been hearing the voices of the students and the university management, and also in between the voices of government. This dialogue, is this why you came into being, that another voices need to be heard?
Yes, our point of departure is that when it comes to resourcing of the higher education sector, besides the private sector, those that feel it every day, mainly it's been a triangle of students, the government, and the universities through the principals. And unlike basic education, parents have not been involved in higher education in South Africa actively. So this dialogue, for higher education parents dialogue, is to get parents who have gone through the system or might not have gone through the system, not to talk about fees only, to talk about the output, who are feeling it. You take a child to university for 3-4 years, he comes back, he stays at home for 5, 6, 7 years, and he goes and it's thousands of these children. And there's many other issues about the relevance of graduates in society. Why should a degree that I did in 1981, a BSc that is still in the same curriculum like today? So we wanted to engage on those issues. So we feel that with the shutting down of the NECC in 1996, we made mistakes. The current crisis should not be happening. We should be having organs of civil society owning up and assisting. We need a national dialogue. We do need a national consensus. When people are saying we want to shut down, let's collapse the whole thing. There'd rather be no higher education. What does it mean for us as taxpayers in South Africa? We think we're at that point now. Let the student leaders convince us as civil society.
All right, let's talk about the current crisis, because we're running out of time. It's urgent now, and we're seeing clashes taking place at the universities. As parents, what can you do to intervene or mediate or try and bring some normality?
We're not coming into the picture, we're not parachuting and say we're experts. We listened to we listened to student leaders, we listened to the minister, we listened to the principals. Just this afternoon at 3 o'clock, we spoke to the executive committee of all the university principals. And basically what we are saying to them is that if you look at the students, they are highly divided in many campuses before they get to speaking to management. So in any struggle, once you, as those that are demanding something, are divided, it is a problem. So as a matter of fact, we have established HEPAD structures in all the 9 provinces, or 8, except Northern Cape. But this weekend, all our HEPAD executive committees or provincial committees will be interacting, mediating in various institutions. They stayed in the Cape Town institutions until very late this morning. Tomorrow, we are calling all the student leaders at Tekis. We spend the whole day at Tekis today with the Vice Chancellor. Tomorrow, we're talking to the student leaders. Here is the dynamic. You have students that have been elected in some institutions that are not able to command students. Then you've got the unelected leadership that is leading, but when you ask them, can we meet? They say, no, we do not have a leadership. We are a movement. And we say, yes, this is an interesting theory of struggle. We are not underground here. We need to be able to talk. So one of the things that we have taken is not just HEPAD. It's HEPAD and the South African Council of Churches. In the other interviews we did them with the presidency and the General Secretary, Bishop Mpumlwana. So we will be going. We want to meet with the Fees Must Fall movement. We want to meet with the Education Must Fall. Whatever movement is there, we want to be able to talk to them and say...
But who are they? Because often when you see violence, the first thing that you hear from the SRC leadership is that they're not part of us. These people don't represent us. So it's almost as if there are elements within this whole thing that are hell-bent on a particular agenda and maybe not even be representative of students. Why do you think you can succeed in this impasse?
Give us a chance quietly in facilitating that. We have had difficult situations ourselves when SRCs were banned, where we were to operate clandestinely.
Because you were all student leaders in your day, weren't you?
Yes. So we'll be able to, we want to have a conversation, and we must come to a point where we say, for an example, there could be differences between the AfriForum students and the EFF students and the PYA students. We need to be, what we're doing tomorrow at Tekis is to say, let's identify the issues that unify you as students. Put those aside. Let's identify those that divide you. And when you mediate, let's mediate on those issues that are dividing you, so that you could be able to move forward. We believe as mediators that the outcome of that is that the 2016 academic year needs to be saved. But maybe the question should be that, why did you go to the president? In that process, then we said, Minister Pletziman has done what he could, has presented what the department can, but Cabinet has not declared this a national disaster. It has gone now for more than a month. So with the churches and the parents, we are saying that the president and Cabinet need to declare this a national crisis and address it as such. It needs to have a special team and say, if it means the whole of next week, various stakeholders are focusing on it and saving it, because the economic implications are huge for all of us.
Has the president done enough? The students were saying that they didn't want to just be addressed, they wanted to engage with the president, and he left.
Well, now we talk as leaders. Say, honestly, we lead differently. But in this instance, a tactical error happened. Students need a particular way of managing them, because they are saying, all the parties, that's what we are saying as HEPAD, we get a sense that between university principals and government and SRCs, they've been speaking about these matters for a year or two or three. They've reached a maximum threshold of listening to one another, and they're like, just go back to class. Others are saying, we're tired, you want to trick us to go back to class? We are not. We shall not go back to class until you make the following pronouncement. So where we are, we believe that Monday could have been handled differently. There was good document done, a lot of work has been done, and we're taking that process forward. We promised that summit that as parents and churches, we will take it outside to ensure that everyone agrees on.
What about the student tactics?
Student tactics?
Yeah.
Let's separate them. In terms of what students are demanding, there are things that are achievable next week. There are things that are achievable before they finish their exams. There are things that are achievable next year, some achievable 2018. That's what we want to separate. Then there are the tactics of intimidation, tactics of violence, and so on. Really, we're throwing a challenge as civil society and the churches and parents that you want to mobilize us into joining the struggle. First, we have agreed your struggle is our struggle. We have agreed that we're supporting the call for free quality education. But you cannot be intimidating other people like we did then when there was an apartheid government and say, join me, if you don't join me, this is what's going to happen. So we're separating them. We're supporting the struggle, but the violence, even the police tactic is very wrong. Police must stay out of campus.
Okay, all right. There's so much to talk about, but perhaps we can revisit this next week after you've had an opportunity to have this dialogue. But we want to thank you very much for giving us, I think, a glimmer of hope, actually, in this impasse that's taking place. The chairperson of the Higher Education Parents Dialogue, Mr. Irvin Penyanya, thank you very much indeed for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.